Alright, so I picked up the Blood of Saiyans Vegeta figure by Crane King. I got this at a specific store that some people have an opinion about, where one has to acquire a membership to save on various games and game-related items. However, and people tend to stop there occasionally. You can't figure that out by now. But regardless, they had Vegeta. I picked him up. Let's see how he compares to my other guys. Alright, so this is him out of the box, by the way. This is Alice. She's my beardy. She's joining us today. So, first off, his hair is really, really gold. Like metallic gold. Like weird gold. Not as... It's as my other figure that I think I overpaid for if I bought him regular price. He had gold hair, but it was kind of like a soft dusting gold. As for this is more of a metallic gold, and I don't really like it too much because even his boots are kind of that gold. So this is kind of, I think, the yellow or the color that they chose. You can kind of tell with his boots that they kind of brushed him with a blue to make him look kind of worn or what have you. All across, you kind of, I think they did it backwards. They had lightened certain areas. You can kind of see here on his butt. You know, I think if they reversed it to where like all the dark places were lighter color and then kind of highlight these little areas dark color, it would kind of look a little bit better. It looks kind of off right now, like just like somebody just went in there. And even his abs, if you look at that massive 6, 8, 12, whatever you want to call it, I think it's 6, 6 back there that he's got. It just seems kind of off, like random shading going on. And he's kind of in one motion, so he's not like tilted in any way. He's kind of just standing there, leaning back, roaring his Vegeta cry as he does. So the arms pop off, and so does this little kickstand, and that's to keep him from falling backwards. You can put the kickstand on there. I didn't have a trouble with just leaving them like this, but I think if you're putting them on your desk or somewhere where it's going to wobble a lot, you know, the slightest little pressure is going to knock him back, and I don't think you want to be picking him up, you know, every 5 seconds or whatever. And I'm trying to get his kickstand back on. I may not be able to do it. It's just kind of weird. Yeah, you kind of have to go in at an angle to get it on. That's another thing you could probably craft glue or super glue on along with his arms, because they tend to, I mean, this one kind of falls off like all the time, and I lost the kickstand. So a lot of parts, if you're messing with it, it's definitely not one that you want to mess with too much. It's one you kind of just want to unbox, put it on your shelf, and enjoy it. It's not one that you want to keep taking out, all that. It is kind of fragile. You kind of see, like right here, this should be dark, in my opinion, because it is coming out of his boot, which would be dark, you know. So for it to go light to dark, just it doesn't seem like they kind of thought that through. Maybe it's a production error that they can't fix. I don't know, but I do like the muscle definition that they have here. It's very true to the anime. They didn't try to make it. They didn't skip on that. The knee looks very like, yes, this is a knee. His side right there, again, they still kept the muscle definition. Trying to get the focus here, but they did. There you go. You can kind of see it right about there. So I know my nails are terrible. I bite them all the time, so it's a habit that I need to break. So you know, you kind of see that they kept a little bit of the definition there. They kind of kept it all together for the most part. Again, it's just the hair I don't like, and you know, it's not really the arms that bother me, because like I said, I'm not giving this to my kid and saying, hey, play with them. I'm saying this is kind of that mac and cheese commercial where it's like that room of toys you can't play with. This is a toy you don't play with. This is one you just kind of sit there, you know, next to this guy, and kind of they just sit there and just kind of chill out together. All right. Now, I compare a lot to this guy because I think they did it right with him. They have the right type of yellow. They have the right type of yellow on his hair, and it just goes. So they got the dirt on the knee. You know, I already went into view about that one. But then you go to, you know, guys like this, and they kind of go for a golden kind of Saiyan. And I haven't personally seen any golden Saiyan. And his Widow's Peak is just like he's always had a pretty defined Widow's Peak, but this one, I mean, it goes almost down to his eyes, like his eye, the brow. Like it is insane. Like look at that. It goes almost down to like where his brow is supposed to be, right there. And unlike him, where his Widow's Peak kind of doesn't even it comes down to the Majin, so you still have like a whole letter of wiggle room. Here, there's no wiggle room at all. And then you got other ones that are like this that are kind of cartoony, a little bit kind of funny. They're meant to be kind of translucent a little bit, like that yellow, so when the light hits them, it kind of glows a little bit. I do like that. But, they use they use the gold coloring. They didn't use the yellow. So I don't know what that's about. There's probably something I'm missing, again. The way I remember Dragon Ball was it was yellow. It wasn't necessarily gold. So I don't know if later on they changed it or they just decided, hey, as a production thing, maybe this is just cheaper to produce than actual yellow. I don't know. I'm not marketing. But if you guys know, let me know. I would love to hear you guys talk about that. And correct me if I am wrong. That is for sure. Because I know I'm wrong. I was wrong in my last video about the Loot Crate. It was Frodo, not Bilbo. And I kept saying Bilbo. And I'm sure I meant to say Frodo. And it wasn't. I think I focused too much of this is not Bilbo. That I kept saying Bilbo. So I apologize for that. I'm human. I make mistakes. I believe the guy said it was sacrilege to do so. So I apologize if I offended anybody in the Lord of the Rings community. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Lord of the Rings. Not that I don't like it. I think it's just it's like Dungeons and Dragons. You have to immerse yourself into the world to kind of actually appreciate it and enjoy it for what it is, and I never got to that point. But for people that I'm jealous of, to be able to drive yourself into the world and be like, no, an orc wouldn't do that, or an elf wouldn't do that, type of thing. And I know Tolkien kind of set the groundwork for what these characters, what these creatures are going to be, just like Dungeons and Dragons set that down. So, I do appreciate that they, that they exist and everything. I just haven't immersed myself that far into it because other things got in the way, life, other hobbies, all that stuff. So again, I apologize. Again, I'm human. I make mistakes. I can't go back and I'm not going to go back and dub it over. That's just ridiculous. All right. So with that, hopefully you guys enjoyed the review and I'll see you guys next time.